apparently gave me a thumbs up, which is kind of funny because there's nobody in the room. But okay, interesting. So today I'm going to wait a little bit because nobody's in the room. But I will tell you that I've been doing some interesting experiments. Right now I'm doing my water routine. And one of them is on increasing testosterone, but also potentially increasing libido. And this is for both men and women. I'm doing my clean water, which, by the way, is part of it. Now, remember, no medical advice, no medical claims. This is just what I've been doing. And there's things in our water that are affecting us hormonally. Okay. So this is going to affect things like your libido. And what I can tell you is this experiment that I did, and like I said, I'll go into more detail when there's more people here because I hate to share all the information and people are going to probably ask all over again. But it worked. I was, to be honest, I was pretty shocked that it worked. See, this is why I follow data, because I find these interesting studies and these interesting things that I'm thinking, well, technically, if the study is showing this, then this should work in such a way. And so that's what I do. I put certain things to the test, and it's working. I'm shocked, actually, absolutely stunned that this method is working. But it is a combination of things, and I can share it with you guys. I'm actually going to be doing a video about it. So this is just, I'm just doing my morning routine. I'm here live, just making my morning smoothie, and we can talk about it. I can ask some, I can answer some of your questions and stuff like that. But I was pretty excited that this technique is working, and also shocked. Sometimes I get shocked because there's things in life that people want answers to or results, and then there's just almost like nothing out there that works. And when I find something that really works, when technically nothing like this is supposed to exist, I get kind of like shocked myself, and I get excited, and I'm like, oh man, I can't believe this is working. It really works. It really works. So anyway, yeah. So we'll get into it when there's enough people in the room. Oh, actually, it looks like there might be enough people in the room. So comment below if you guys want to hear about it, or depending on what direction you want to go with this conversation this morning, because I'm just going to make my morning smoothie. But yeah, it all starts. Okay, so I guess let's just talk about it. I assume this is a video that I'll be making again if you want to watch it later. Well, I hope I make it. I oftentimes get busy and then I'm not having time, but I'm going to try to make this video. This is an experiment. I talked about it a while ago. I wanted to see if it would help with increasing testosterone naturally, but also potentially increasing libido for both men and women. And sure enough, the technique certainly appears to be working. It actually looks like it's been working for a while, but I was doing it, but I wanted to really be patient and make sure that it really works. So basically, guys, it's a combination of things. So it's not just one thing. It's a combination. And so let's see here. Suzanne, morning, Greg from the UK. Quick question, off topic, but does the water in your Lourdes machine get hot after, say, half an hour when you leave it on standby? Yes, it can get warm depending on the temperature of your house and whatnot. Yes, because electricity, heat. Hi, Greg. Make it to your live. How are you, brother? Hey, RV Flyer. Cool. Good to see you. Alicia says, of course, we want to hear about it. I agree with Alicia. Okay, so here it is, guys. So first thing, the first thing is you need to get your hormones right. Okay? And in order to get your hormones right, it's going to affect your libido. And there's a couple things that you can do. I personally think that what I kind of discovered here, I do think it's a combination of things again. So it's not just, unfortunately, like, oh look, there's a new pill, take the pill and boom. That's not how this technique works that I've kind of, you could say, developed. First, I put the purium powder, right? That's what I first put in. Make sure you're getting all your nutrients. If you want your body to work right, you're gonna need all your nutrients. You can't really have what I would call any deficiencies, like nutritional deficiencies. So, you know, we always, this is like baseline. And also cleaning your water. Why is your water so important to clean? Because think about it, guys. In my opinion, this is not medical advice and it's not a medical claim, but in my opinion, there's so many things in our water that disrupt us hormonally. I don't know if you guys have seen what's been going on with kids lately, um, which is really sad. And of course, a lot of adults and testosterone numbers and all these type of things. So I personally think that there's two big parts. This is something that in my opinion is being semi self-induced without us knowing that we're doing it to ourselves. So part of it is avoiding certain things and part of it is implementing certain things. So it's going to take a moment, you know, to go over all this stuff. So the first thing is I always start my day, and you wouldn't think it would have anything to do with your libido, but it would actually be clean water. Because think about it, again, if there's weird stuff in your water, it's going to affect you. So, I mean, that's the first thing, but that's not the whole answer. I mean, because I've been doing clean water, and I don't know how much I should share about this, but I did this experiment, not just on myself, I did it on other people who have had this issue. That's why I'm very excited about the results, because they are having results. And this is going to be, I mean, who knows? I'm really am going to try to make a more detailed video about this, but you know, I'll share with you guys parts of it. So first you clean up the water. That's obviously something that I do regardless. So there's nothing in the water that's disrupting your body. Now, overcoming deficiencies is kind of interesting because it sounds really generalized, but let me tell you something. Overcoming deficiencies can affect you in so many ways. I mean, I could literally go into some very interesting studies that I recently read, and I'm not going to go into that right now because I'm sure you guys just want to know about this topic. So, you know, first thing I do in obviously this routine, as you guys know, hydrogen water. Why? Because think about it. Hydrogen really gets the blood moving. If you don't really believe that, watch video 68, live blood analysis from a lab, because I've had doctors even question that video, and in the end, I proved that it was real, and they were pretty shocked. Blood flow is extremely important. So hydrogen is going to help with that, but that's just part of it. You want to do other things too. One of the real simple things, and this is a very small piece of it too, is just little exercise. And when I say little exercise, I'm talking like literally just a walk. You could just literally go for a 20-minute walk every day. I mean, ideally, I think 1 hour. You know, you got to get because it helps the blood move again, and you combine that with hydrogen, and it just, you know, even better. But I think a 1 hour walk, you know, and I don't mean like, hey, I went to the grocery store and I walked around for an hour. No, I'm talking like a designated walk where you walk, you don't stop, and you um, try to make it a brisk walk if possible. So that's going to be one of the first things. Now, whoops, what am I doing here? I'm not supposed to put ginger in just yet. Let me put that in there for a second. I clearly forgot the main ingredient here. I just put the purine powder, and that's part of the overcoming nutritional deficiencies. And I'm going to have a couple secret ingredients I'm going to show you guys today for increasing the libido. So obviously you guys know these videos. I mean, I make these smoothies in the morning and it takes a little bit of time. So don't expect me to just show you every single ingredient right now and just shove it in your face and be like, this is it, this is it. I'm going to show you a combination, but the secret ingredients that appear to help the libido, and I say appear because, you know, I don't make any medical claims, but I will say that, I mean, I have now personally witnessed it, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty impressive. But it's the reason I say it's not just one ingredient is because you have to make sure that the specific ingredients I'm going to show you guys, that they are being absorbed and implemented properly. If you do not do it properly, I unfortunately do not think that this method will work. So the first key to it obviously is hydrating the body. I already talked about that. We do the hydrogen water in the morning. Now the second part of this technique is, believe it or not, fiber. It's like, what? Why fiber? Because fiber appears to actually help you with the absorption of nutrients, and I'm going to add specific types of ingredients This is not, I don't have enough room over here. I'm gonna have to move this over here. All right, hopefully this works. Fiber is going to help you with the absorption. So is hydrogen. So in my opinion, again, this is just what I tried. And you're really going to want to bring in a lot of fiber because the ingredients I'm going to add, and I'm going to show them to you today, you want them to have kind of like a time release, as weird as that may sound, because otherwise you're just not going to get like all true absorption. It's kind of like, think of yourself like in a, you guys ever watch those shows? This was back in the old days where they would put people like in a cylinder and they would like have all this money blowing around with like air in the cylinder, and people would have to like try to grab all this money in the cylinder, and they had like, I don't know, 30 seconds or a minute or to try to grab as much as they possibly could, right? Well, it's kind of like the difference with having fiber in your body is a difference in the time. So if somebody throws you in a cylinder like that, and all this money's floating around, and they give you like 5 seconds, you're like, you're not going to be able to grab much. But if you have a ton of fiber in your system, it's like putting you in that same thing, but putting you in there for like 2 hours, where you have way more time to be able to try to grab more and more and more of it, and put it in your pocket or whatever. So fiber, in my opinion, helps like a time release. And the reason that that's important is because the magic ingredients that I'm going to be showing you today that I have personally seen working, which is obviously very exciting because, and this is not anything, people will be like, oh, can you patent it? There's always, it's funny. I always get these business people contacting me and they always like trying to do some type of business with what I do. And it's like, guys, look, I just make these videos. I just experiment. And a lot of it's with food. And I'm going to show you some of that today because it has to do with specific foods and minerals. And so what you want to do is this smoothie is actually part of it. Now, the good news about this smoothie, so this is what I'm realizing about this smoothie in time. This thing does more than just one thing. It's going to get us nutrients, which is going to be important. And it's going to get us, again, I'm not making any claims on this, but what I have discovered with myself by doing a lot of blood work is it helps you overcome nutritional deficiencies. It gets you a bunch of fiber. It helps regulate blood glucose. A lot of these ingredients are anti-parasitic. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, this smoothie thing of how many things that your body really needs. And if you can, and you combine it with things like the powder that I put in there, because that's just food and to overcome nutritional deficiencies. And you want to be able to, do the hydrogen before, because that really helps a ton also. So it's a combination, all right? And it is very close to what my routine is already all about. It was just a few things that I'd been messing around with, because you guys know I don't normally like to add supplements, and I'm not really into supplements. I'm into food and minerals, and some people may say, well, those are supplements, and it's like, well, they're not some synthetic pill, even though people will like make pills out there and they'll be like, oh, this pill, is super great for this, and this pill's good for that. And then by the time you're done, you're taking a million pills, and you don't know the ingredients that they put in them just to make them. And I'm not a huge fan because I have seen a lot of it. So you really got to be cautious, in my opinion. And some of these ingredients also cause the body to produce nitric oxide, really open up blood vessels. So again, you open up blood vessels with some of these ingredients, and you're using the hydrogen, which really pushes moves the blood around like crazy. But the main part is there is certain ingredients that I combine with the smoothie and the hydrogen water. And I'm about to show you guys how I do it, so that way you guys know how to do it. Now, I know some people get really impatient. They're like, man, I want you to make this video in 10 seconds or less. It's like, sorry, guys. It's just, I will make that video later. I will make the video later. showing that. But what I'm going to show you today is actually how to do it rather than just talk about it in a video. And then you're like, well, I don't know, but how do you do it then? Because people want to see you do it so they know how to do it themselves. What I can say is it appears to have taken about, I don't know, I'm going to say somewhere in the neighborhood of about, and it's going to differ, it's going to depend on people, in my opinion, but I would say 2 months. 2 months is around, I've been experimenting and playing around with it for a while now. And if I'm really upfront with you, I thought there was like an 80, 90% chance that it wouldn't work. I would have been surprised if it worked. But I thought it was worth a try. The thing you have to understand is, how did I come up with this? And part of it is the way just the human body works, understanding it. But part of it is just data. I mean, literally, I found data that would, in theory, and this is how I come up with a lot of my theories, and I don't know why nobody else ever, I don't know, thought of this, I guess. And so I'm pulling broccoli sprouts. These ones are not part of it. This is what I'm doing right here is I'm just making, again, a healthy smoothie. Make sure you get all your nutrients. But in my opinion, getting all your nutrients and cleaning up your water is going to help. That right there is going to help more than you know. Because another thing you want to do is you really want to clean up your blood vessels. This is actually good for your vascular system right here. That's going to be important, which is blueberries. And that's important too. So we always put about, I don't know how much I'm putting here. I don't know if it's quite a cup. I kind of eyeball it, but probably close to a cup. But yes, very good for your vascular system. You want to help, you also want to control your blood glucose, guys. Too much sugar is not going to help your libido. However, remember this. People may say, well, I should be on the keto diet and have no sugar. No, don't agree with that at all, actually. Sugars from natural foods react in the body differently than processed sugar. I've seen the studies, and this is why, again, I go back always to data, because otherwise, if they reacted the same, then I would have been like, oh, well, they react the same. So, maybe we should completely avoid sugar. Okay, so I got raisins. Now, here's part of the secret. Raisins, can you believe that? Raisins soaked in hydrogen water is part of it. Part of it is because they have this natural ingredient in them that is called boron. Like nobody's going to tell you, hey, eat raisins for your libido. And I wouldn't personally eat raisins. And I'll tell you why. Because first of all, if you just start chowing down on raisins thinking, okay, this is going to help my libido, that's not the way that I would go about it. First of all, water. Believe it or not, really good hydration is part of what's going to help. But that's why you want super clean water. You don't want things in water that's affecting you hormonally. So that's the reason I say, okay, first you start with the clean water. That's going to be the first thing. Then you can soak the raisins. Now remember, there's apparently some data. I'm not going to make a claim on this one because this came from, but I mean, I've seen some of it. But all I can tell you is that when you soak certain foods, or basically just fruits and vegetables from what I found, I actually found some interesting information that it appears, I'm not going to say that it does or doesn't, but it appears that hydrogen, and remember, if you're going to soak your food in hydrogen, just make sure you make hydrogen right, because if you use chemicals like lye, or if you use hydrogen machines that leach metal, which by the way, that's not going to help with the libido, and if you use machines that alter the pH, that's not the way you want to do it. Hydrogen, pure hydrogen, like in its finest purity, which is what you want. And I soak these in hydrogen water right now. This is part of it. So either hydrogen water or clean water. But I'm trying to put together the ingredients that create the nitric oxide with the hydrogen. Okay, and that really gets everything really moving. And a lot of fiber for the absorption of certain nutrients. And this is not, I'm not going to say that this is a huge part of it, but I do think it's part of it. And this is the natto. I throw this part away. This is the garbage. It has sugar and whatever. This is just bean. Why natto? Because it thins the blood. We want to get blood everywhere, okay? This is part of it. Let's see here. Let me read some of your comments, even though I'm probably going to be late today. Crap. Let's see. I like the contraceptives getting in the water. Oh no, okay, yeah. Hello from New York. Greg, what do you think of deionized water? I don't think it's necessary. I mean, look, I already show what to do with water. You clean it, fill it with hydrogen. It's that easy. And again, I go off of data. How long do you soak things in hydrogen? Well, ideally, a good 20, 30 minutes, but we do what we can because I'm doing this live. I'm not going to sit here and soak them forever, but I used to. But I already loaded up on hydrogen water also, and it soaks while I'm making it. Now, natto, in my opinion, is part of this. Now, is it an absolute necessity? Is it the most important ingredient in this? No. This is one of the magic ingredients. I'm going to add it right now. Cacao. Raw cacao. No sugar, no nothing. You want to make sure to absorb the nutrients properly. This one is organic. Organic. And raw cacao is part of it. Is it the main ingredient? Again, nope. You could, believe it or not, you could probably go without some of the raw cacao. It doesn't have to happen, but it does help. But it's not the super absolutely has to be necessary. I would say all the other things that I'm showing you are more necessary than the raw cacao. But the raw cacao, the raisins with the boron that are soaked in hydrogen water, things like these are all going to help. Let's activate the natto now. Let's stir it up. Now, why the natto? Look, we know that natto has all sorts of great nutrients in it, great enzymes. But the magical part about this for the libido is the way that it thins the blood. It thins the blood. Now, remember, this is not medical advice, but let me tell you something right now. If you're on statins or something along those lines, please consult your physician. Talk to your doctor. And you know what? I hate to say it, he's probably going to have no clue about natto and what it really does and the combining it with certain drugs, but just be cautious. Don't eat too much of it. I've read that you probably don't want to go up to 4 packs. I think I'd probably be fine with that, but most people, I would just try 1, maybe 2, and you can see how this is totally activating. It's all nice and fluffy. And yes, so let's go with the natto for, again, the nutrients and everything else, but the real main part of the natto, I think it has a few little secrets as far as other things it can do. But thinning the blood can help with so many things. It's kind of like it's almost like putting a different sets of tires on your car, because it can do so many things. Literally, just tires can help you get better fuel economy. Sometimes some tires can help you get better grip and get better racing times if you're racing your car. It can do so many different things, and thinning the blood is like that. It can bring so many different types of benefits. Something that simple. Okay, but I will show you one of the other secret ingredients. Beets. Why beets? These really get your body to produce, and there's more than one ingredient in here that gets your body to produce the nitric oxide. And I will tell you that is part of it. But just that is not going to be enough. This is why I'm telling you that it's a combination. It's kind of like, hate to use the car analogy again, but it is kind of like a car. It's kind of like thinking, hey, all I want to do is, put a big turbo and make my car faster. It's like, well, sometimes you need a little more than that. Sometimes you're going to need the radiator to help keep the car cooler because you're running more power, with a turbo. It's a combination. And that's why I'm telling you guys, this smoothie, if you take the challenge, and appears to take, from what I can see, about 2 months, you're gonna notice this. It's just like the hydrogen water challenge. You drink the water in the mornings. Now, throughout the day, even better. Meaning, before every meal, empty stomach. Before breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Hydration and blood movement and getting rid of free radicals. All this is part of it. But there's a few magic parts, and I'm just going to show them to you. One of them is, obviously, I think the natto is a magical part of it, personally. Do you have to absolutely do it? Probably not. But if you're really trying to get things going, I would. I think that it would be an important piece. The clean water, obviously. The hydrogen, in my opinion, is actually a huge part of it because of the way that it's moving the blood. And those are some of the pieces. And the raisins, not absolute, but I do think actually it is part of the importance. And I'm trying to get to the magic ingredient here, but you guys have to see how I add it. So I'm going to show you that here in a second. And I kind of have to hurry because I do have some work I got to go have an appointment today again. But I'm just excited that it's working. You know, to see something work like this. And like I said, don't worry, I'll try to post a video about it later if I have the time. I always say that, and then I end up like not being able to make all the videos that I want to make. I should probably make a note of it because I think people, it's funny, you know, I want to help people get in health, but you know, I never thought that I'd find something that would increase libido. Um, but I will say that I think health and libido go hand in hand. So that's something that is, in my opinion, important. Well, of course, work is trying to call me, and I'm like, sorry, I'll have to call you later. That's why probably the screen paused there for a second. Call everybody back. Okay, so beets, if you want to Google it, you will see that it gets the body to produce nitric oxide on its own. Now, what does that do to the blood vessels? See, not only does it appear to open up the blood vessels, the other thing is when you combine it with something like, in my opinion, blueberries. The blueberries help the vascular system. Try not to consume too much salt either. I'm not talking about minerals. There's a difference between minerals and salts. Like I used to be really big into Himalayan salt. I didn't realize that the salt content was so high and the mineral content was not that high. I want the minerals. I don't want the salt. The salt hardens the arteries. You don't want your blood vessels harden if you're trying to, you know, move blood and get the libido going and all that good stuff. Does it mean that you never want salt? Of course not. Everything in life, guys, is about balance. So we're trying to get a balance. Now, a lot of water is going to help anyway, especially the hydrogen water. You know, so that's going to help anyway because if you're getting too much salt, it's clearly just going to flush out a ton of that. So, you know, consuming the right amount of water is actually extremely helpful. For such a protocol, we're almost there, guys. Let's see here. I'm almost there to the ingredient I've been wanting to show you guys. Well, are bananas good for your libido? Well, I don't know, but I throw them in there. I don't think it's a huge part of the protocol, to be honest, the bananas, but it makes it taste good. Let's see here. I love raw cacao. Which salt is the best minerals, and is there a salt that you know? Yes, I'm going to show you guys. And it's not, I mean, as far as salt is concerned, salt is not going to be the key for good health. And I know that a lot of people disagree with that because I've deeply researched salt. I was really into salt, all sorts of kinds of salts, you know, volcanic salts, Celtic sea salt, you know, the Himalayan salt. And it's great. Salts are great. But as far as, I mean, this video is supposed to be about the libido. And so that's why for the libido, we're going to use pure minerals with incredibly low salt content. And you combine it with the fiber. Now, this experiment, I did it both on men and women. And the shocking part was, well, the women. That's the one that really shocked me because, you know, they really are noticing the difference. And it is, dare I say, you know, for me, it's always, I don't know, I get really excited when I make a discovery that actually appears to work, right? Can't say that it, I'm not going to make that claim, but the reason that I came up with the technique has basically been due to a lot of research and a lot of reading data. So I think you guys get it by now. Okay, you understand that clean water, all this fiber is important, and overcoming all nutritional deficiencies. So I use the Purium powder from iShopPurium.com. I do have a $50 coupon code if you want it. That's Uprising 144K. I don't like to use multivitamins. It's going to be different because those, in my opinion, can potentially strain your kidney. Now, if that's all you've got, then that's all you've got. And you're like, hey, I need my nutrients up. Okay, then that's what you do. But this technique, unfortunately, is not super, I mean, it's not hard, but it's not super easy. It's not just like, oh, I popped this new pill and everything's great. This technique involves what I would say the more natural way, which is, hey, clean up your water, get the crap out of there. Let's get a bunch of these ingredients in you as far as fibers, lots of hydrogen water, and this combination, in my opinion, can potentially bring good health, which is part of your libido, by the way. You got to get your health going. You got to get your hormones regulated. And we're almost there, guys. Maybe I'll just hurry up and just get to it already, dude. Okay, I'm trying. Relax. Relaxing is good for your libido. Just relax. And like I said, little exercise, guys. It's going to be extremely important for this particular technique, in my opinion. You absolutely have to do it. Well, I don't want to say no. I will say, I don't want to say this because then everybody's going to think they can do it without any exercise, because I'll say that one of the people doesn't do a lot of exercise, but they do go walking, and just do that. You got to at least walk 30 minutes to an hour a day. That's what I've seen. And we're getting to the last ingredients, guys, and then I'm going to be able to show you the minerals that you're speaking of, because I want to have rich mineral content. I want rich minerals. And in these foods, we all know that foods are deficient in minerals these days. That's the reason that I supplement them into the smoothie, not a normal supplement, not a pill or whatever. But I'm going to put minerals. But remember, I use them in collaboration with all this fiber. And of course, the natural minerals are already in here. And that, in my opinion, is what's bringing on this magic that I'm noticing. The magic of the libido. So here we go. I need to one of these days, and I need to learn how to edit videos. I don't know how to use computers very good. And if I could edit this video, I could probably put it into probably a 2-minute video. I could probably make it in 2 minutes. This is just live. And this is what I'm doing anyway, right? This is what I do on my normal morning routine. Holy cow, look at the size of this carrot. I don't think I'm going to fit that in there. Let's try the smaller one. So the magic ingredient is literally very, very natural. It's not a pill. Doesn't have, the synthetic stuff that a lot of pills do, even when they're all like, oh, this is all natural. And the magic of it is, it's just a mineral. But this particular mineral has been shown to affect what they call sex hormones. And I've been playing around with the amounts. That's the part that also I've been having to kind of figure out. And this is definitely not medical advice. Consult your physicians. See what they tell you. But what good is a mineral if you're not absorbing it that well? This is why all this fiber, by the way. This whole smoothie is to absorb all your nutrients. And, fills me up too. And it gets things moving. Believe it or not, in my opinion, this, with all the hydrogen water and everything, really cleans up the blood. And you got to have some clean blood to make and you want everything working right, for your body to work right. And that's when things like the libido really work better. Okay, we're pretty much done. So let me get to it. I'm almost there, guys. Almost there. Everybody's like, hurry up, hurry up. And I would prefer hydrogen water, but if you just have clean water, but obviously to really enhance this. And I put a ton of stuff in here with minerals like the chia seeds and whatnot. But here comes one of the magic ingredients. It's not the main one, but I added anyway. And somebody was asking about the salts. This is all about the minerals. And if you read somewhere on here, they remove virtually all the salt out of this thing. And I'm going to add it. And so people add it to the water. Forget that. I add it to my smoothie. Yeah, I put 1 drop in water or something. I really don't add that much in water. For me, I find that with the fibers, fruits and vegetables, and it's about to get loud. I'll take the compost down and then I'll show you how we add the other ingredients. All right, magic ingredient coming up soon. I'm gonna get some jars. We've waited all this time, and I'm literally just about to show it to you. Here it comes. I did a video on it, but it was part of an experiment. I'll make another one soon. Okay. Almost ready, and then I'm gonna get the ingredient ready. You gotta shake it, okay? All right, so first things first, I'm gonna add a little hydrogen water to the smoothie, the jars. I'm gonna cut it a little bit. Do you have to do that? You don't have to, but if you're trying to get the most out of this, which was my goal, then yes, you want to add just a little bit. But it's more important that you load up on it in the morning, which I already did. I'm just doing things kind of really enhancing. So you can see how these are ready to go. And last one, let's shake the ingredient. All right, there we go. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. These are a couple of these ingredients are super important for all this. In my opinion, I'll share which ones do what. But here we go. So you want this smoothie. I'm telling you right now, this is what you want. In my opinion, of course, just my opinion. Okay, so I'm gonna pour it halfway because the magic libido ingredient is gonna be put in the middle of the smoothie. I can't believe it works. But again, the ironic part is just read data about it. Well, shucks. Because I'm really surprised that this is in there. So, first ingredient, here we go. This one, D3K2. Now, that may not seem like it's important. It's important. I'm telling you right now, this is like just ridiculously important, in my opinion, for libido. Think about it. Vitamin D from the sun, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some people I would put 6. It would just depend, but that's about 5,000, 6,000 I use. Okay, and that's in a natural form. I like that. Now, this is the magic ingredient right here. This is the one that I've been putting to the test, and I can't believe how good it works. Boron, but it's ionic. I get it from concentrates because ionic's going to be your second best way of getting boron. Number one is from food. You can't get it from too many foods. I mean, you get it from like prunes, but you're not eating those all the time. I don't know how that would really go well with probably too gassy. But the raisin soaked in hydrogen water has natural boron, but I still add it. This is the one that I found data on. So I was doing this little experiment, but I put 1 ml and a half for my roughly body weight. And I do the same thing for this one, which this one I'm going to be giving to somebody else who is enjoying the effects of it. This one's not really for this, but I've been using it anyway, and that's chlorophyll, mostly from your greens. You're going to get that from your greens, and this stuff is just crazy green. It literally looks black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I should let me do a little research while we sit down here in a second while I'm drinking this. See if chlorophyll has any effects on that too, because I didn't think it did, but okay, so then that's when I pour in the other half. Like I said, overcoming nutritional deficiencies, in my opinion, is just a no-brainer when it comes to something like the libido. Now this one I'm going to seal up and put away and give it to somebody. Just make sure to give it to somebody special. And the next one, now this one is not absolutely necessary, but full of nutrients. And I think it's super, this thing's almost like a multivitamin on its own. If you look at the nutrient content in it, incredible. And so, of course, I'm going to add it to my smoothie because for me, it was all about overcoming nutritional deficiencies. I never would have thought that this would have done anything for libido. And so I think that it's a combination of everything that I'm doing, but I think the boron is the culprit as far as everything coming together synergistically. Just like, again, just like a car, everything has to come together synergistically. The tires, the engine, the transmission, the gearing, the cooling. I mean, there's just so many important parts. I'm going to remove my earpiece and I'm going to bring you guys over here while I look up a few things together. All right. Let's bring you guys over here and show you another part that I think is important. It's not totally necessary though, because not everybody's doing it actually, and it still worked. So that's important to note. 1 second. And that's the inhalation of the hydrogen while I'm doing this. Let's see here. Give me 1 second and then I can actually have my breakfast. And actually, I should adjust the camera a little bit probably. And yikes. Let's get to the drinking of the magic smoothie. I can't believe this. All right. Okay. Which minerals? Oh, yes. Yeah, the salt that I use these days, I don't use a lot. Probably just use a little bit of, these days, either Himalayan or Celtic is what I tend to use. Very chocolatey. It's a super sexy smoothie. That's funny. Okay, let's see here. Let's make sure about, let's look into chlorophyll, because that's one thing that I did add and I want to see. Chlorophyll effects. Okay. Chlorophyll cheat sheet. Benefits. Well, my gut feeling appears to have possibly been correct. And I'll tell you why. I use Redmond real salt from Utah. There you go. Why is my computer doing this? It's acting a little weird. It appears that there is a component in chlorophyll that actually can affect your sex drive. Look at that. Boron is the one. There seems to be really good data. But a lot of these things say like, however, by itself, it may not be as strong as you want it to be. This is why I combine things. Because I keep finding that when I combine things, let's see here. Interesting. It helps rebuild red blood cells. This is why I'm big on veggies too, by the way, for so many reasons. I mean, if I were to start going on about all the benefits of vegetables. But interesting that it appears to have a component to help with sex drive. As far as another thing that's interesting, people who ask about funguses, candida, I should probably do a whole video on this one too. The effects of chlorophyll. So this is, again, if you were to eat a lot of greens, a lot of vegetables, which I do, candida and like yeast infections, they can lead to fatigue, bad breath, brain fog, hormone imbalance. See, this is, you wouldn't think that vegetables are gonna make your libido better, but all the data points in that direction in some way. It also appears to help with digestive issues, or basically by having candida issues, it even causes digestive problems. And studying has shown, so actual data, real studies, have shown that increasing chlorophyll in your diet can either slow or even stop candida overgrowth. So look at that. That's pretty awesome. So here's an interesting one. Is chlorophyll bad for the liver or hard on the liver? Well, as the blood passes through the liver, chlorophyll promotes liver cleansing and detoxification on what they call the phase 2 detoxification enzymes produced by the liver. So you're detoxing, you're cleaning, help regulate your hormone levels. Guys, this is exciting. So yeah, I think, gosh, I didn't think that the chlorophyll was doing it. I thought it was the boron, and I think it's the boron. But I think the chlorophyll definitely doesn't hurt if you're not getting enough greens. That would be the real one. This is pretty exciting. Okay, let's talk about raw cacao and its effects on the libido. Let's see here. Okay, there is some interesting info. And see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So, zinc. Zinc affects, okay, so so for example, women are estrogen dominant with low testosterone, okay? Zinc helps boost your testosterone production and prevents testosterone being turned into estrogen by blocking the enzyme responsible. So remember what I told you, and I can't emphasize this enough. Overcome nutritional deficiencies to literally help boost the libido, because everything is working in like a very synergistic way. And the good news, it's all automatic. So as long as you bring it into your body, it's all good. But most people are deficient, almost everybody. That's the reason I invented this. And it's another reason I'm inhaling the hydrogen while I do this, while I drink my smoothie. Okay, let's see here. Magnesium. Raw cacao is rich in magnesium. The minerals that I add are rich in magnesium. And so many of the ingredients, I went over it with you guys before on other videos. A lot of them are rich in magnesium. Again, deficiencies. You don't want deficiencies in anything, and that includes magnesium, because magnesium, let's see here. If you have a deficiency in magnesium, let's see. Why is a deficiency in magnesium affecting your libido? Because it makes it harder for your testosterone to bind onto proteins and allows for more of it to remain free in your bloodstream, which is exactly how you want it to be for a higher sex drive. So higher levels of free testosterone makes for more desire. Magnesium also combats anxiety, prevents depression, helping yourself be in a better mood. So magnesium seems to be important. But like I said, all deficiencies. This is all about the deficiencies, but adding just the boron, I think, really changed everything when combined with all the nutrients. And really clean blood vessels. That's why I don't like to eat a lot of garbage food. It clogs them all up, and you can't get proper blood flow. You want proper blood flow. Let's see. I don't want to read some of this stuff. Okay, so there you go. That's really, really, really important. Now, this is interesting. National Institute of Health. Wow. See, I knew that this stuff would work because, let's see, people with questions about libido, National Institute of Health, a review that has to do with, sexual performance, libido. And they're using a lot of the similar things that I'm using, which is plants. Plants to stimulate the desire, enhance performance. The way that they keep this is the difference. Here's the problem. Plants and fiber and minerals and all these things, they keep everything cleaner. If your blood vessels are all clogged, it's like a drain that's so clogged up and the water won't go through. Well, the blood won't go through, and you need the blood, guys. This is why the hydrogen, the way it moves the blood, opens up ghost vessels. It all works together. It works on basically very natural principles. And what I can see here is that they actually, wow, they're saying the same thing. They said it literally works on natural principles and certain parts of plants, which are useful in sexual disorders. I think too much protein is bad, in my opinion, for libido and sexual performance. And what I mean by too much protein is, I just talked to a guy yesterday. He's like, yeah, I eat a couple eggs for breakfast, a couple eggs for lunch, and then a hamburger for dinner. And I'm like, dude, you are clogging yourself up. This is not going to help, in my opinion. Let's see. Also for, believe it or not, apparently, I figured, but I didn't know. It's also helpful for something called spermatogenesis and reproduction. So I know that in Japan, they use hydrogen in some fertility clinics. So it's going to help with that, apparently. I've seen that. I knew a woman who was having a hard time getting pregnant, got on hydrogen, boom, she got pregnant. Actually, multiple women that I know that got pregnant by getting on hydrogen. Now that I'm kind of thinking about and reflecting on it. Okay, let's see. Evidence, evaluation, blah, 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 blah. Plants as an aphrodisiac. And we're talking about plants with minerals. And plants have minerals. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of this. And they're learning more and more about this, apparently. The effects of sexual behavior, libido, fertility, performance, certain chemicals, chemical reactions, which is what I'm talking about, the reactions for sexual and erectile dysfunction. I've been trying to explain this to people for some time. I'm glad that they actually did a study on this. Wow. Real male reproductive capacity has been deficient. Why, guys? Well, I'm trying to tell you, I think a lot of it's even the water. The garbage in our water, even drinking out of plastic water. I knew a guy, he had man boobs and he couldn't figure out why. He's like, why do I have man boobs? And he was drinking always from these plastic, the bottled water. I don't drink, that stuff will affect your hormones. And he's like, man, that's all I drink out of. And I was like, that is a problem. And clearly it wasn't the cleanest water, because just because it's bottled water doesn't make it super clean. And also, so the water's not the cleanest. And the other, I'm gonna take this apron off. I got my heat pack on. Let's see here. Let's see what else they found. They did a full pharmacological evaluation and also helping with plant medicine to help treat erectile dysfunction. Interesting. Let's see here. Good day, everybody. Well done, everybody. Work out the correct combo. You certainly have a talent for it. You are the smoothie wizard. Okay, wow, watch out, girls. Well, yeah, I guess so, huh? Being in love doesn't hurt either. Okay, good day, MD. I use real salt as well. There's also a lot of BPAs in receipts. Christiana, is there a good, easy to read info sheets somewhere on the benefits of hydrogen. Oh my gosh. There's so much, it's ridiculous. I'm sorry, Christiana. Look, I have over 400 videos and a lot of them are on hydrogen and I still haven't touched on everything. The problem with hydrogen, if anything, is that it does too much. You know, so it's better. What I learned is that hydrogen does so many things that I reached the point where I just said, you know what, forget it. I don't need to know everything that it does anymore. I clearly know it's good for me. Just like overcoming nutritional deficiencies. I don't need to know what every mineral, every enzyme, every piece of fiber, I don't need to know what they do anymore. I already know they're good. I need to figure out how to get it in me. That's what I got to figure out. So I just have to figure out how to get hydrogen properly into me. Yeah, so the man boobs guy. Okay, let's see, what else? I hate to say, he's probably gotten some issues. And it affects the sperm count. There's molecular levels and certain stepping stones. They're trying to isolate just this one factor. It's funny how they always want to just find one thing, but that's not really what they're finding. They're finding that it's a combination. Yep. And then they go into the historical background. Oh, look at this. Yes, I'm going to see if they also stumbled upon. Oh, there's like certain botanical plants. I want to find exactly what's in these plants that are affecting this, but I really think that boron is, well, I don't just think it. I mean, that's how I came up with the ideas because of what I read about it. Let's see here. Wow, what can we find? Sexual function. Let's see. You know, wow, it can apparently increase the quality too of semen. So people are trying to get like pregnant, you know. A lot of plants, everything's a plant. Whether it's even the ginger, increasing body heat. Like I said, this combination that I created here. Wow, even really good for the brain. You know, that's actually a really good point because the brain has such tiny, tiny little blood vessels. MD says, I was once party to a medical dinner where they docs were discussing how the males participants in the soy study were developing moves and lactating. That's weird. Because soy is amazing. I mean, the Japanese use it, and obviously they live extremely long lives. They eat probably more of it than anybody in the world, and it's just a bean. I use it regularly in here, and it thins that blood. And it's been working. So, as long as it's Japanese, Christina, it should be good, as the Japanese don't use a lot of chemicals. That's true. Right back. Let's look up. Okay, we know that plants are the way as far as stuff like this. But I think I have I want to read about, let's see about raw cacao effects on libido. So let's see here. Apparently, dark chocolate. I just used a pure cacao. Let's see, is popular. Apparently, it increases your libido. Wow, what a surprise. Because of the way that it releases specific chemicals like phenethylamine and serotonin into the body. I think a lot of that, believe it or not, I think it actually has a lot to do with the magnesium. But apparently chocolate, well, we put cacao in here. But I think all of it has to overcoming nutritional deficiencies, which is why there's specific foods that have certain nutrients. So whether you get them from those foods or other foods, but let's see here. I can tell you a few other things apparently that affect the libido. One is apparently avocados. I eat those almost every day, actually. The really dark, just cacao chocolate. Now remember, be careful by thinking, okay, well, chocolate's gonna do it, and you just go buy some chocolate full of sugar, full of dairy, and just probably not the best. Combine it with fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans. I mean, that's everything that's in here. And you combine the hydrogen and you put in the boron, you know, these type of things. Green tea apparently affects the libido. Green tea, I don't drink it a lot, but I do have some once in a while. Pumpkin seeds, I actually put those on my salad almost every single day, sprouted pumpkin seeds. But they're rich in zinc. And we were just talking about how zinc affects the libido. This is what I mean. It's all about nutritional deficiencies, in my opinion, more than it is about specific foods. It's what's in the food. And that's why I use that purium powder that comes from foods to overcome the deficiencies with the smoothie. You know what's interesting? They're talking about the effect on your nails. And let me tell you something, my nails are like out of control. They grow so fast. The hydrogen in these smoothies they grow so ridiculously fast. It's a little annoying how often I have to cut them, but I'm happy because I know that means good blood flow, good nutrients, and they're strong. I used to have really weak nails. It was actually painful because I used to get them caught on just the simplest thing and it would like practically tear them off. And I used to hate them. Okay, dark chocolate. Let's see what's so special about it. Improving mood, dopamine, serotonin, possible libido. Maybe because of the natural flavonoids, the antioxidants that naturally occur in it. They help relax blood vessels and increase blood flow. See, this is what I'm talking about. Hydrogen is going to probably move your blood flow way better than chocolate, but I combine them. So now they're working together with ginger also, with the boron. See, this is all these things that I'm combining. That's why I said get on this for like a few months and see what you feel. Also, it says best to get unsweetened cacao. Exactly what I just got done telling you guys. Don't overindulge in sugar. It's not going to help you with your libido, in my personal opinion. That's all. All right. So what else? Green tea. Ooh, a hot cup of green tea rich in catechins, which, in addition of helping reduce belly fat, has shown to promote blood flow. See, I keep telling you guys, it's all about, I'm telling you, and I don't know, I'm going to repeat myself apparently till this horse is dead. We're going to beat this dead horse. That's a weird analogy, isn't it? But basically, blood flow for better sex life. I'm telling you, you want your blood clean. You want your blood vessels relaxed and clean. Hydrogen appears to really clean them, help relax, help the blood move, along with the minerals, the nutrients. It's like that easy. It's not even complicated. It's going to affect everything in your life. Now, they do talk about damaged and inflamed blood vessels being an issue. It's one of the reasons that I like hydrogen, because inflammation, hydrogen appears to be anti-inflammatory, and you use it regularly. You don't want to be taking pills for anti-inflammatories. A lot of these vegetables and whatnot are also, a lot of the stuff I put in this is anti-inflammatory, tons of it. Heal some damage, that would be hydrogen, free radical damage and whatever. And that causes issues with the transport of blood. Second, what you really want, and apparently green tea does this too. By the way, so many of the things that I do apparently does this. This is getting pretty wild. Green tea also causes the body again to release nitric oxide, which increases the size of the blood vessels. And then that leads to more improved blood flow. So you combine, why do you think and there's even research now, and I think they stole it from me personally, but I was talking about nitric oxide opening everything up and the hydrogen moving the blood, and then you got all the nutrients in it. Oh God, that is a recipe for I don't know, wild night, I guess. All right, well, you could also put, you can add green tea to all sorts of stuff. Okay. Pumpkin seeds, we already talked about this because one of the best sources of zinc. And they are, that's one of the reasons that I always put all over my salad. But again, I love nuts, seeds, beans, fruits, vegetables. That's what I pretty much live off of. And zinc plays a huge role in wound healing, eye health, immune function, but so does protein, fiber, potassium, iron. Remember I said deficiencies. You want to get everything in you guys. Follow this and I think you can overcome deficiencies in my opinion. And zinc plays a role with libido. Has also been deficient in zinc has led to low testosterone. Though it's not exactly why, it's not even fully understood why zinc does this. Interesting. My opinion is that we don't know what all these things do. All these different minerals and nutrients in our body, we don't know how they work together. It's like a dance. That's why I say the body knows how to do it automatically. All you got to figure it out is how to get it in the body and get proper absorption. It's one of the reasons I like hydrogen. But also hydrogen apparently open up ghost vessels. So that way I can get more nutrients into my tissues and doing everything that it's supposed to be doing. Let's see here. Believe it or not, the choices you make and the foods you eat impact your libido. What a surprise. Of course, proper sleep is going to be important. Stress, you know, I got to say, these people that, including myself, who had an effect from all this, lots of stress lately. I've been under a lot of stress. A lot of them have been under a lot of stress, and it still worked. That's amazing. But then hydrogen, I believe, helps with that. I believe that I personally think it helps with stress hormones. Okay, let's see here. L-arginine, obviously, it was likely genetically modified. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to read your comments here. Christiana, I don't think you can get too much hydrogen. Correct me if I'm wrong, Greg. As long as you make it cleanly and properly, it doesn't appear you can get too much. Now, if anything, you're having a hard enough time getting enough of it. And if you get too much, it appears you just simply breathe it out. So don't forget good herbs like Sistanchi and Tonga. Whoops. Ali. Northern Yeti says, I also suspect that healthy thyroid is useful for libido. Remember, when you were 17, high energy and always ready to go. Terry C, ready to go where, Yeti? To Pound Town. Okay, guys. Northern Yeti. All men have to chew on herbs and women have to eat chocolate Easter eggs. Not at 17. Well, of course, when you're young, your blood vessels are cleaner, by the way. And as you get older, you eat so much crap that you clog yourself up. All it took was a warm breeze and we were ready. All right. Can't be young forever. Do what you can. Something that I have noticed is that when inhaling the hydrogen, it assists in the persistent deep breathing, which is good for stress. Yes, I would agree. I do think that hydrogen helps with stress. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think that is. I mean, we can go into some other ingredients. Well, you know what? I don't. Let me look up this because I didn't think it would have such an effect. But let's just see. Okay. So, bananas. Bananas also contain tryptophan, an amino acid needed for serotonin production, the feel-good hormone. Bananas are also packed with potassium, yeah, we know that, used to produce sex hormones and improve heart health and sex drive. Bananas also contain an enzyme called bromelain, which helps improve blood flow and increase libido. So bananas apparently a part of it too. See, all these things that I've been using, I think were already good. I think the main thing is when I added that boron, with everything that I was already doing, I mean, I hate to say, I never really had an issue with all this. But I definitely felt a difference. So I think everything that I'm doing here is appears to be working. And everybody's talking about nitric oxide. See, that's gonna be the big one, guys. Just watch. Nitric oxide. Somebody's gonna sell some supplement for that. Just watch, and you don't need it. Boron is in prunes as well. Yes, I was aware of that. I said it at the beginning of the video. The only problem is I don't think you want to be eating a bunch of prunes all the time. Terry's like farting ain't sexy. Could you look up on dates, Greg? Okay, well, let's see. And I like dates, by the way. I used to use them more often than I do now, but okay, health benefits of dates. Okay, high in fiber, always good. High in antioxidants, very good. Good for the brain health and preventing disease. Ooh, I gotta go soon. Okay. Dates are the fruit of the date palm tree. Work keeps trying to call. Nitric oxide, watermelon, rinds include. Rind? You want to eat watermelon rinds? Sorry, been in and out of this live stream. Okay, dates, very nutritious, so we know that. What exactly do you want to know about dates? Now, it says that the caloric content of dates is actually similar to raisins and figs. I bet you those have boron in them. Let's find out. I mean, they got fiber, protein, potassium, magnesium. I think magnesium is important. Boy, lots of copper, manganese, iron, B6. You know, what am I always saying? Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans. Guys, that is that's a recipe for success in my opinion. And that's about everything that I put in this sucker. But we know that everything's deficient, so I add the purine powder and I add minerals. And I don't know. I think that is, they're very high in fiber. They're high in disease-fighting antioxidants, flavonoids, carotenoids, phenolic acid, anti-inflammatory properties. I mean, I used to throw some dates in my smoothie if you ever watch some of my older videos. I go off and on and I change things. Right now I'm doing more of the raisins. May promote brain health, may promote natural labor. Oh, I got a really interesting testimonial about that with the hydrogen. It's been crazy. Natural sweetener, I love that. Good for bone health, even blood sugar control, which is crazy because they're very sweet. And they're easy to add to your diet. Now, what exactly can we learn about dates? Let's see, what else can we look up? Let's see. Okay, so dates is loaded, yeah, with natural sweetness, you know, sugar, but also has amino acids that increase sexual stamina. And there you go, we could add dates, but I'm doing the raisins. In fact, why don't we look up raisins? Eating dates could treat sexual impotence, help improve sexual activity, and increase the production of sex hormones. I'm kind of leaning towards they must have boron in them, but let's see here. Let's look up, even though I gotta go real soon. Raisins effects on dogs, on libido. Raisins, here we go. This little known dried fruit is known to be immensely helpful. Wow, here we go. When it comes to stimulating libido and inducing sexual arousal, because they have not only certain natural sugars, now natural, not processed, that help boost energy levels, but also helping with sexual function. Look at that, guys. I'm telling you, I think it has something to do with the boron. And then I add the boron. And boy, I know I gotta go, but I also have to do my smoothie thing. So hold on a second. I'll Greg, I'm wondering if this could be easier for you if it's just a list of things for your smoothies do. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much. There's just so much. I'm gonna have to do this right here. So I guess you guys can see how I do my best to not waste any of this smoothie. Why? Well, for one, it's magical in more than one way. And I'm gonna try to inhale my smoothie while I inhale my smoothie. Inhale my hydrogen water. This is my heat pack. I like putting it on in the morning because it's cold. All right, so guys, I'm gonna say goodbye here real soon. I gotta go, and I also have work calling constantly here. So what I'm gonna let you know is that I think this might be a little bit of a secret now. I'll be making another video if you guys want me to do that, because I think people are going to want to know this. That's just my opinion, but I think the raw cacao, the raisins, I even think the Purium powder, because it's so rich in zinc and it's from food. Remember, I don't like to get my zinc from any pill. There is no pill that I take for zinc, just so you know. I don't like pills. I rarely take pills. Probably the only pills that I ever take is just vitamin D, but I'm using those drops. The ionic form, ionic seems to be the best. And things work synergistically with minerals, in my opinion. It's kind of why I like what Concentrates does. They constantly have these ionic forms of different minerals. There's probably other companies too that do it, but I like the quality of their product. I know that most of the stuff that I like is a little more expensive than other things, but usually there's a reason for that. You usually get what you pay for, especially with the hydrogen, I'll tell you that much. That one's a big one. Well, actually, you know, I take that back, because there's a lot of companies out there that charge the same for really terrible devices, in my opinion. That's what I personally think. And the fact that even somebody tries to put it in a pill, that's not going to be a good idea, in my opinion. That's what I personally think. I could tell you why, but I won't. And there we go, voila, guys. Try not to waste any of this magical smoothie full of magnesium and zinc and boron and fiber and phytonutrients and protein and fiber and all the things that the body needs to potentially increase your libido. All right, so let's put some little hydrogen water in here if I can. I think I'm out, actually. Am I out of hydrogen water? Let me check. Okay, guys, well, thanks for hanging out. I think I gotta get rolling here. Just add cloves. Cloves? Cloves? What kind of, like garlic? All right, well, guys, I really hope this helps. I hope if you're gonna go with this challenge, I think you really have to go at least a few months. And I know that you need all these magical ingredients to do it, but hey, I mean, I buy them on the regular. You get in a routine, you get in a rhythm. I don't know how much these smoothies cost me. I think they're like $18, but that's a lot of smoothie. It's enough for 2 people, actually. Unless you drink a lot of smoothie, which I do, and sometimes I still have leftovers. So it works pretty good. All right. Thanks for hanging, guys. I'll see you guys next time on the next one. Let me make sure there wasn't any last questions or comments. Just add cloves to your diet. Okay, bye guys. What? Let's see. Would it be easier for you to just list the things your smoothies don't do? Yeah, really. Bye guys. Watch out who you give that smoothie to. Well, you can give it to people who just want to be healthy too. MD Greg, an easy way to get the rest of the smoothie out, pour a little H2 water in the blender with the top on and shake it. You know, I've tried that. It works okay too. But I noticed that, I mean, both, I actually do a little bit of both. I pour a little water in there afterwards. That's genius. Just add more cloves into your diet. That will ignite the fire. I don't know what kind of cloves. I don't know if you're talking about garlic. Sorry, later. I think I will go with Greg's smoothie. I actually do the same in the glass bottles that I use for my smoothies as well. Get all the goodness out of that possibly can. I agree. Just add cloves into the smoothie. Well, again, if you're talking about garlic cloves, that would, yuck. That would not taste good. If that's what you're talking about. I like the smoothie to taste good, but you could always add a lot of garlic to other things if you'd like. And we can look that up later, guys, because I got to roll. I'll see you guys later. Till next time. Bye-bye.